Welcome along to Press Pass Extra. I'm Dan Thomas. Robbie Mustoe and Shaka Hislop are with me as we discuss the future of Neymar. The Brazilian has, of course, been lighting up the Olympics, boys, which has prompted reports, certainly in Spain, that he could be moving to Barcelona. This is a deal we thought will be done, but maybe more in the future than the present.
Yeah, my understanding was that it wasn't going to happen for another year or so, allowing Neymar to develop, mature a little bit in Brazil. But I guess it might happen. And, you know, again, Barcelona are picking up the so-called best players that are available. We saw it last season with Alexis Sanchez. We've seen it before with Ibrahimovic, David Villa. You know, this is the club that produces great players from the youth academy, Dan, and yet they still feel the need to go out and buy these superstars. I'm sure it'll be a big success, Shaka. He's going to score a lot of goals. He'll have tough games against Real Madrid and in the Champions League, and that's it. I like to see him somewhere else who's got a more of a challenge.
Neymar was, of course, heavily linked with a move to Real Madrid, and then that was scuppered, and he wanted to stay in Brazil till at least after the World Cup. But you're absolutely right. You wonder how much of this has to do with the Real Madrid interest and Barcelona just keeping themselves ahead, and in that respect, as opposed to them really believing that they need Neymar. Keep in mind, a player that you just mentioned in David Villa, yes, he sustained a horrific injury, but when he's back and back to full fitness, if he is to rediscover his old form, how do you replace him, or how do you find a space for both of them on the same park? And then the comparisons between them, Real Madrid, and everybody else in the league gets even more skewed.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you rate him? Do you rate him as highly as the Brazilians lead us to believe?
Yes and no. Yes, he's a fantastic talent, right? There's no question about the ability that he's got. Incredible skills, very sharp, great vision, everything else. He still, for me, has got a lot to learn, Dan. He still, at times, makes the wrong decision. I think he gives the ball away a little bit, you know, too much. You know, we know that Messi's got the skills, but his decision-making is impeccable. So he's got a little bit to learn, but there's no question he's a special talent.
But how will he cope with a move to Barcelona if it does go ahead, Shaka, after being the big fish at Santos and then coming into Barcelona, where of course he'll be overshadowed by the likes of Iniesta and of course Leo Messi?
I think he'll be fine, and I think he'll be fine because of the age that he's moving at. As Robbie already explained, he's young, talented, yes, but has a lot to learn, and I think certainly to fit into the Barcelona system, you have to be prepared to learn, take advice on board, and learn very quickly. It's something that Cesc Fabregas spoke about, even though he came through the Barcelona Youth Academy. Still on arrival with the first team, he felt it was very much a learning process. And if you are going to learn your football, who better to learn it from than the likes of Xavi, Iniesta and Messi? I think when you're in that kind of company, you are almost forced to take their advice on board.
What if moneybags like PSG or Andy Makakla come along and offer him stupid money? Any chance that they could hijack this deal?
There's always a chance of that. I think it depends on what club it is. I think money's not an issue, so I don't think he'd be bothered if he makes more money going somewhere else. I think it's about his development, and I think it's about where he feels the best place for him to develop. Now, you know, you can say it's Barcelona. I'd probably say it wasn't. I think he'd learn more by going to a different club that's maybe in a tougher league, maybe Italy or the Premier League.
Ronaldinho, Ronaldo have done in the past.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it'd be too easy for him. You know, it's very, you know, the games are going to be so easy for him. You know, he's going to get a lot of goals, a lot of playing time. He's going to learn from all these great players. Listen, it sounds great, but I just see him in more of a challenging environment.
Boys, thank you very much. We'll, of course, be keeping a close eye on this story right here on soccernet.com.